Hey, good morning, class. Welcome to week 4. By the end of this week's lesson, you will be able to choose the appropriate alliance when effective procurement strategies are utilized. During this lesson, we will discuss strategic alliances, 3PLs, retailer supplier relationships, and outsourcing risk. Two types of relationships that come to mind are vertical and horizontal. There are many advantages or benefits to forming strategic alliances, but there are also few disadvantages. Therefore, companies should ask a few questions to determine if partnerships will benefit a company. These questions are posed internally. Does it resolve our problem with X or Y? How will it impact our operations as they currently exist? How will the impact our fixed and variable costs? Will this weaken our position in the market? Will this weaken our position with our customers or suppliers? Just a couple of few questions that managers may ask. You may be wondering, what is outsourcing? Outsourcing is to procure or contract parts of your services to an outside supplier. In transportation and logistics, these types of companies are called 3PLs or 4PLs, or third-party logistics providers or fourth-party logistics providers. They provide services such as warehousing, transportation, order management, and freight forwarding, which provide your customers with great customer service, and you get a win-win out of it. What do 3PLs and 4PLs do, and what is the difference between the two? A 3PL may provide several types of services to include, but not limited to, warehousing, transport, order management, freight forwarding, and reverse logistics. A 4PL is a company that is even further removed, and they may be the intermediary between a company and a 3PL. 3PLs build their networks with carriers, trucking companies, and IT providers to provide their customers with reasonable fees to help them eliminate operating costs. The advantages of using a 3PL usually includes one of the following: speed and efficiency, reduction in cost, and experience. The 3PL and the 4PL can handle all call volume that would be taxing for the startup or a new product line. A 3PL or a 4PL can be viewed much like a call center. They are equipped to handle hundreds and thousands of calls per day. A 3PL or 4PL can help reduce overall operating costs by reducing the number of employees if a company needs to handle their shipping and receiving. Likewise, it reduces implementation of IT systems and reduces the additional costs associated with space and equipment needed by shipping and receiving or the transportation department. The last advantage we will discuss in this experience, a 3PL has experience. The last advantage we will discuss is experience. A 3PL has the experience needed to handle various services for shipping or manufacturing companies. Outsourcing transportation, warehousing, and other services can be great for startup companies or larger retailers that need help with overflow shipments or reverse logistics. For example, a new company may not know anything about moving their product, but only knows how to manufacture or produce their widget. Therefore, they are paying for their expertise, knowledge, and experience. It is important to note that if you outsource to a 3PL or 4PL, you need to be clear on why you need their services and how the entire process will work. Some key questions to consider are: what processes do we need to outsource? Will outsourcing decrease the cost or increase the cost? Is this process that can be done internally? Can we trust using a 3PL or 4PL? What impact will this have on our overall company? What happens if outsourcing does not work for us? Then, what are our options? These are only a few questions to ask before outsourcing any of your processes, and most times comes down to trust and the cost of using a 3PL or 4PL. It is important to remember that this takes constant effort to build a relationship with the customer. The more trust that develops, so does commitment. Companies using 3PLs want to know that they are a 3PL number one customer and that they can trust and rely on the 3PL to do what they say they will do. As trust and commitment strengthens, the relationship becomes mutually beneficial to both sides, which is always a win-win. Retail and supplier relationships are exactly that, relationships between retailers and their suppliers. The partnership or relationship is equally beneficial because both sides are focused on the same goal, getting the product to the customer. These relationships have several strategies, but it truly comes down to information flow, trust, commitment, trust and commitment. Each side must be clear of their responsibility. This should be negotiated and addressed in a formal contract as it eliminates potential problems and issues in the future. For example, contracts should specify who owns the inventory, the decision maker, and the division of labor. Remember that we mentioned trust and commitment in regards to strategic partnerships. Well, other risks to these relationships are loss of competitive advantage, differing objectives, sharing of confidential information, knowledge sharing, and etc. During this lesson, we discussed strategic alliances, 3PLs, retailers, supplier relationships, and outsourcing risks. Please, again, take the time to read through your material. If you got any questions, please email me and make sure that you all are in the forums. Thanks.